Or I've got cable now.
All
Just
right,
had
here we
cable
are.
installed, so I'm doing high speed stuff.
So we have here a person who has used medical marijuana and has an interesting story to tell. If you would describe
Yes,
why you had to take it and what's happened to you.
Well, actually, I'm a brain tumor survivor. This month marks my 8th year after being diagnosed. I've gone through 3 surgeries for brain cancer. One of those surgeries also included surgery for epilepsy, which I also suffer as a result from the brain tumor. I was told to go through a chemotherapy as a last-ditch effort. This was the end. Through the process of chemotherapy, I had the opportunity to try Marinol. My seizures went from having 6 to 10 seizures a day to having 6 to 10 seizures a week on Marinol. Quite often, quite a few friends, not quite a few friends, but I had been asked on occasion, maybe the real stuff would really work better. Well, I really didn't have any feelings one way or another, but I did have the opportunity to try taking a few puffs from a marijuana cigarette. Immediately, I was good. I was happy. It lifted my spirit. It stopped the seizures, and actually, I went from having the 6 or so seizures a week using Marinol to 0 seizures, period. No seizures.
Quite a relief, huh?
I had been almost...
How often did you have to smoke in order to achieve that? How much were you taking in?
My best guess is probably maybe 12, maybe 15 puffs a day over the course
So
of
probably
the day.
like a half a joint a day?
It was about a half a joint a day.
Did you take it all at one time or
No.
spread it throughout the day?
Through the day.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'd maybe take 1 puff.
And did you continue taking other anti-epileptic medication or did you stop that?
I was actually able to reduce some of my other anti-epileptic drugs.
Mm-hmm. But they alone were not working for you?
They alone did not do it. I've been on every combination of anti-epileptics. There just is not another alternative drug out there. Now I am fighting a battle within my body, myself, my own self, that I know that this stuff works. How can I not take it?
Yeah.
You know, I want to be as normal as I can, given the fact that I am legally blind and given the fact that I do have some cognitive deficiencies because of the surgery. I did win back a part of my life by using it. I'm actually able to do some stuff. I actually can sit down and think and have some kind of sense of achievement for my own self, my own well-being.
And had you started to use marijuana before the surgery that resulted in the loss of your sight, you'd now have sight.
Perhaps, it has been proven that marijuana kills glioma cells, which mine is. My brain tumor is a mixed glioma. Mm-hmm. There would be a potential.
But you wouldn't have had the surgery that actually wound up
Correct.
eliminating your sight.
Correct.
Yeah.
So actually, the 3 surgeries I had, one was for epilepsy directly.
Right.
The other 2 were to dissect or remove, debulk.
And was that the one that
tumor.
was the epileptic surgery, the one that resulted in your sight loss?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So you would have your sight then.
Actually, I had the epilepsy, that word, surgery, and a debulking was done at the same time during one process.
Right.
And it very well could have avoided that. For that matter, being able to smoke marijuana could have avoided having the seizures to start with. Mm-hmm. Now, everything dominoed back, and I got very angry about that whole thing.
I can imagine.
Because there was an open door there that suggested that I could have avoided this. Now, the first surgery was just, it was brain surgery, but it was a direct debulk in excess of $80,000. My second surgery was a debulk plus a codicography process where they actually lay a wire mesh on the open brain and then dissect the areas that are causing abnormal signals. That is on top of the $80,000 basic brain surgery. So we're probably talking about $100,000. I could buy a lot of pot for $100,000. And
a lot of smiles too, huh?
And be very, very well.
Do you know other people who are using medical marijuana?
I do. Actually, I've got a relative that is using it for migraines, and another that is using it for a chronic kind of digestive problem that he is experiencing.
And they are normal, functional people? And
they both hold down jobs. They've got families. They're doing very, very well. They're able to do. They're able to be somebody.
How is it possible, you think, that this legislation does not pass? How is it that we have to be going through this year in and year out to help people like yourself?
I just think it's probably just a stigma that was put on it. And actually, I think I might have the same stigma when I first discovered that it was helping me. I was thinking medical marijuana. Well, as of yesterday, I've stopped saying medical marijuana and I call it cannabis. It's medical cannabis. That way, when somebody hears me talking about medical cannabis, they say, oh, you're taking a prescription medicine. When I say medical marijuana, they might look at me a little bit funny and sometimes in disbelief.
Right.
And until you've had experience of it yourself, it's just hard to describe. You know, just how well this had made me. I have talked to my entire medical team. Now I have one of the top brain surgeons in the country out of Brigham and Women's smiles at me and he told me, keep on doing what you're doing and keep on fighting legislation.
So he knows the truth and he's willing to support your efforts.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
My neurologist has actually written a note the best he can that states simply that smoking marijuana might relieve some of my symptoms. That's the best that he can do.
So these doctors often are a little hesitant to come out, even though they're seeing the results.
It's kind of silly, actually, because a doctor.
It's tragic.
A doctor can legally say no, but they cannot legally say yes.
Right.
And, you know, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But
just say yes.
Yes, I know. It's really kind of funny. The part that hurts me the worst, Dr. Bob, is I am legally blind. I have to rely on everybody else to do for me. Now, when I run low on medication, or anytime, I make one phone call and about 10 people jump into action, and then 10 more people jump into action because they're calling people, and it's terribly frustrating to have to put people through that kind of grief.
You're making criminals out of them.
Actually, I am.
Isn't that outrageous that you have to make criminals out of your friends in order for you to live?
And family.
It's just an outrage.
My 80-year-old mother has made a contact for me.
All right.
At one time.
Does she smoke with you?
No, of course not.
I smoke with my mom and my 81-year-old stepfather.
She, it was kind of really wild, actually. I never thought that day would happen, but she has recognized that there has been an improvement.
Well, great. I'm out of film here now.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much, and good luck to you.
I actually remodeled my basement. My basement was it was a basement. Jump, open the basement door and throw everything down the stairs. You gotta see it now. It's really, really nice. I put a gas fireplace down there.
Because you're feeling better.
Yeah, and I have been able to do it myself.
Isn't that great?
It takes a million times longer, but I can do it.
And you get a sense of accomplishment in doing.
Because I'm fearless. I'm fearless because I'm not going to have a seizure.
Yeah.